I was born in Seattle, Washington, and but I moved here with my family, my parents, when I was a child. So I grew up in Livermore. At the time, Livermore was basically, and still is, kind of known for three things. It's the world's fastest rodeo, which was this past weekend, and then I remember on the police car there was the atom sign, the nuclear atom sign.
I didn't know that.
And then a grape cluster. So
interesting contrast.
Yeah, right. And then started working here. Then I went off to Santa Cruz, to Bonnie Doon for a little while, and worked up for them. Had to go up to Eastern Washington because we had Riesling vineyards up there that we were sourcing from, and then we spent about a couple of years in Napa making wine in a cave, which was really cool.
Yeah. And
when I came back to Livermore, I ended up meeting Ginger McGrail and through a mutual friend, and sort of we hit it off, and they were very new to this. They weren't really even producing wine yet, but they wanted some help. And so I started helping them, and then eventually, about a year later or so, I ran into her in the grocery store of all places, and she said, we're thinking of hiring a winemaker. And I said, can I be the winemaker? So the rest is sort of history. And that's all around 2007. Well, when I first got into the biz, I was working for the Wente family, Wente brothers at the time, they called themselves. Really, they were making gray Riesling and something called Le Blanc de Blancs, which was primarily Chenin Blanc and gray Riesling, and then a Chablis, which all white wines, right? And of course we made a Chardonnay at the time, and they are very famous for Chardonnay. But they were primarily white wine. We did make some red wine, but not very much. And then they co-owned, at the time they were co-owners of something called Parrott and Company, which was a marketing company co-owned with Louis Martini in Napa. So Louis was the red and Wente was the white, and we were shipping all over the country, And I remember when I first started in the biz, they would put a rail car downtown and park it, on a little spur, and then we would drive down with a truck and a forklift towed behind the truck and hand load the boxcar, And of course, I was a lot younger. That was 1979, 1980, and then about 1985, I would say, was when the Martinis and the Wentes were sort of parting ways, and the Wentes I think they bought Parrott and Company or from Martini or what have you. And then that was also when we started changing grape varieties in the Livermore Valley from gray Riesling and Chenin Blanc to Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Chardonnay, basically. I mean, those three were the big new plantings, as it were. And so we being Wente at the time, just, really pushed to do that, because the trend, this was about the time, Kendall Jackson came out with their Chardonnay in the early 80s, and they hit a home run with it. And so, Wente thought, well, if they can do it, we can do it, kind of thing. And then they decided that because Merlot was that was becoming very popular too. And so it kind of made sense. And for me, the great part about that is that we discovered how well those grape varieties do here, especially the Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, that, we're growing here at McGrail, fast forward, we're growing primarily Cabernet Sauvignon. And it turns out, the other difference too is we started planting the hillsides in Livermore Valley instead of just the valley floor. And I really think that the soils on the hillsides are better suited for higher quality fruit. And so, I mean, I think that was the big, huge change, and kind of slowly sort of morphed. And then the other key to change here was when the Tri-Valley Conservancy, in trying to conserve land so that it didn't become another San Jose, because you got to remember, when I started, Mirasu was in San Jose producing wine, you know, and then, you know, the housing came in, and just pretty soon it's like, ooh, it's noisy at night, and ooh, it smells funny, and, you know, the next thing, it's sort of like moving in next to the airport and then asking the airport to move, right? You know what I mean?
Don't work that way.
Yeah, well, it's that's basically kind of what happened to Mirasu, though, is they got squeezed out, and so, but anyway, so Wente wanted to prevent that, and so they partnered with the Tri-Valley Conservancy to preserve the land in agriculture, and part of that was, I'm not sure who you've met yet, but there's some 20-acre parcels right across the street and another development off of Highway 84 where the people, you buy a 20-acre parcel, there's about 14 acres that are planted to vineyard, and then you have a 2-acre envelope to build your house and your swimming pool and your movie stars and all that, right? And then that sort of, you know, created some of the folks just wanted to live in a vineyard, you know, for whatever reason, and the country lifestyle. But some of those folks have started their own brands. And so now, when I started in '79, I think there was 4 or 5 wine brands in Livermore. And now there's like 50. I mean, I was consulting for a while, and when I was, before McGrail kind of hit, you know, took off, and so but at this point, McGrail keeps me busy enough. I mean, plenty busy. We started at less than 1,000 cases, and now we're at 7,500, and we bought another vineyard in the meantime, and so. And the coolest part for me about McGrail Vineyards is, we're growing all of our fruit. So, the good news is we control what we're, growing, and I don't have to argue with the farmer about things.
Yeah.
And because I have to just look in the mirror, right? So,
yeah.
But the problem is, with the fluctuations of, the economy and all that kind of thing, and trying to predict where you're going to be 3 years from now has gotten more challenging as we've grown. I think it's when you're, at 1,500 cases and you're selling out like, with no problem at all. It's easy to expand, but now that we've expanded.
Definitely a different can of bananas.
Oh yeah. We've been the family and I have worked. I think we're a great team because I warned them about, because I have experience with fast growth, and that's just really expensive. Number one, yeah. And then pretty soon you lose track of who you really are, and so I think we've done a good job of trying to make sure that we maintain who we are and not get too caught up in trying to chase trends. And we're basically Cabernet Sauvignon, and yes, we make a Chardonnay, yes, we make a Sauvignon Blanc, yes, we make Merlot. We have a couple blends, a little bit of rosé, and now we're doing sparkling wine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but these are things that we're growing, and our main focus is still Cabernet Sauvignon, and it will be. I don't see that changing unless somebody makes a movie about they're not going to drink any more Cabernet, you know. It's www.mcgrailvineyards.com.